everyone, good evening. It's 9 p.m. You are watching on live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. The head of state shared the emergency meeting on prevention of coronavirus outbreak. Democratic primaries in the United States, Petit Baudry's throws in the towel. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, shared an emergency meeting today, Monday, at the Presidential Palace on how to tackle the coronavirus and the steps that must be taken to address this deadly epidemic. His Excellency the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed and the Minister of participate in this emergency meeting. The Minister of Interior, Mr. Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, and the Minister of Transport and Equipment, Musa Mohammed Ahmed, in the addition to the Secretary General for the Presidency. During this meeting, effective measures and steps to confront this deadly disease were discussed. His Excellency the President of the Republic, Ismail Margele, stressed the need to tackle and take all the necessary measures and procedures to confront this epidemic and limit its spread to reach the country. Let's listen to President Gele.
Il va falloir quand même que les dispositions pour contrer cette maladie et éviter sa propagation dans notre pays.
We will still have to make steps to counter this disease and prevent it from spreading from another country. Our responsibility is to do our utmost to ensure that the disease does not spread. Are the measures taken so far sufficient in a view of the acceleration of the epidemic? We will know with their data a certain number of instructions of all the participants, as well as to the various ministers of transport and the interior and defense.
The Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed comment on this emergency meeting for the prevention of coronavirus. Let's listen to him.
Réunion, le président a abordé la question du COVID-19, coronavirus.
From this meeting, the chair addressed the issue of COVID-19 virus in the issue. It is true that we have not had any cases in this country at this time. But that does not mean that we are completely immune and that we would never have this epidemic in this country. So we are preparing for 10 years in case that there are cases in Djibouti. How are we preparing? We have to respond. And that response is the first thing we have been preparing for pretty much at the old Bufard Hospital. Already for some time we have been preparing facilities to house people who are suspected of being sick. And we are giving it a 14-day lockdown. If we find that there are cases of people who are actually sick, there is also a place in Bufar. They are provided for these treatments. That is to say, there are doctors and nurses, medical personnel, to receive the sick and treat them on the spot. For the moment, we do not know of any cases, but I hope that between now and then, we will not have any more cases. But we are preparing for that if we ever do. We have cases that may occur. We are already prepared to fight back. We know what we have to do. The second thing is that what the president also talked about was home containment, in case there are people returning from countries where the coronavirus currently exists. These people are there and we will welcome them, even if they have no symptoms of the disease. They will be confined to their homes, including the Chinese, at any time with the Chinese embassy. What are they doing? People returning from China to Djibouti. The Chinese embassy itself and decides to quarantine the people. To say that it is their embassy that says you'll be in your home for 2 weeks, 14 days. Why not us, Djiboutians? There were students who came from China, friends at home, in confinement. There was a number that they corresponded with the health workers. Second thing, in case there was a disease, could come to Djibouti. A medical team, what is called an emergency service for this disease, is set up as well. It will also be set up in Bufar, so they're going to put a new one. They have already set up setbacks for people to contact them, but they are already equipped and installed. But I hope we won't get this disease.
For his part, the Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama, and drawing on his role, confirmed that his department has taken all the necessary measures to prevent this serious disease. He also continued by saying that an immediate and drastic prevention and control measure must be put in place in order to guarantee the best protection for our compatriot Djiboutian citizens. The Minister of Budget today held a ceremony to launch the work of the steering committee for the project to set up a single foreign trade office. The ceremony was attended by the Minister of Transport, the President of Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority, the President of the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, and the Governor of a Central Bank of Djibouti. The Minister of Trade, Investment and the Economic were duly and represented by their Secretary General, the Directors General of Customs, the National Agency for State Information System, and the ANPI, the Institute of Statistics, and the Djiboutian Port Community System also took part in the meeting. The project to set up the integrated platform for cross-border trade facilitation is part of the national strategy to improve the business climate and develop the private sectors. It's a respond to the imperative of ensuring a better performance of our country's scores in the international trade facilitation, evaluation and rating systems and the Logistic Performance Index. In a speech to the President of Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Yusuf Moussa Dawali, on this occasion said as follows. Let's listen to him.
Je crois, ça devait normalement être.
It's a good opportunity. I think it should normally be a component which should be set up so that there is a better interconnection of the agencies in my capacity as chairman of the board of the Investment Promotion Agency. We see that as time goes on, we wanted to see coordination of information that would be consistent. This is also a good opportunity for the different counters of the INPI's counter authority to be coordinated. We expect the steering committee to be able to coordinate with accessibility, the best possible organization of customs, so that it can be the backbone, so that there can be better accessibility of data as well. We are moving towards integration in any kind of integration, especially in the fields of document dematerialization and administration. As far as we are concerned, we are going to the central bank, which is the process of putting in place the basis and fundamentals to link the banks together, to allow all these modern means that are coming to be used to do so automatically in a way that does not require any intervention in terms of relations. Exchange take place without moving. Information circulates between the banks and the administration. This is an important project that is being carried out, and electronic money, for which we already have all the legal provisions, is already in place. The legal value of money in the development of transitions, everything is already set up, ready for use pending the deployment of digital payment instrument to be integrated into the payment system we are setting up.
For his part, the Minister of Transport and Equipment, Mr. Musa Mohammed Ahmed, indicated that the steering committee meeting will be held once every year according to the degree according to which this committee was established. Let's follow for more details.
Qui est lancement du comité de pilotage qui a été créé par un décret.
This event is a member of the steering committee which was created by a decree. According to the decree, this committee must meet once a year. After having launched by the Vice President who chairs today's meeting of the committee has my opinion, as the decree well defined to set up a team that will work, who will be responsible. It ensures the supervision and direction of the work. This team has to be put in place so that the team can get on with the work.
His Excellency Mr. Abdul Karim Adan Chair, Minister of Budget, spoke on this speech about the importance of this steering committee and the operational committee of a consolidated window of foreign trade. Let's listen to him.
It is with real pleasure that I am here with you to officially launch the work of the steering committee in the operational committees of the single window for foreign trade created by the Presidential Decree of January 12, 2020. This project is important for our business environment and inspired by the Singapore model, where customs and the port play a central role in the country's economy. Like Djibouti, our two countries are similar in many ways. Geographic location, scarcity of natural resources, service-based economy, and it is easily conceivable that efforts will be focused on modernizing and facilitating foreign trade activities and procedures. The results expected from this digitized process are numerous. Facilitation, acceleration of the trade documentation process that can improve Djibouti's competitiveness, secure and rapid collection of duties and taxes, better availability of trade statistics for the analysis and forecasting of foreign trade trends, and simplification and reduction of the workloads incumbent on operators. But this also presupposes an integrated management approach largely involving the actors and stakeholders in the process in total synergy. For despite the important role of digitization, their support and ownership is essential. This is the challenge and the mission that is incumbent upon us through the steering committee that we are making effective today, supported by the operational committee, which will be the technical implementation body in charge of the concert implementation of the project on the basis of the strategic orientations and directives set up by the steering committee. I therefore invite the operational committee to be set up quickly in accordance with the decree and to submit its work plan to us. It is an ambitious, innovative plan that will bring about many changes in our behavior, working methods, state of mind, vision, and our mobilization and active and coordinated participation will be decisive in the success of the projects.
The Minister of Trade, Mr. Hassan Hamad Ibrahim, at the head of an important delegation yesterday, Sunday, pay an official visit that will extend until tomorrow, the 3rd of March 2020, in the Kingdom of Jordan. During this visit, the Minister of Trade met his counterpart, Jordanian Minister of Trade, Industry and Supply, Mr. Tariq. The two ministers discussed ways and means to enhance the existing cooperation between the two countries, especially in the field of trade and the investment, in order to motivate the concerned private sectors to seize the available opportunities Djibouti and Jordan. In a move aimed at strengthening Saudi Arabia's Djibouti relation, the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity received a precious gift from the King Salman Center for Relief and Humanitarian Action. The humanitarian gift, which translates into the depth of relation and cooperation existing between the two countries, consists of 100 tons of housing equipment, foodstuff, and tents through the humanitarians and relief plane. And handover ceremony took place in the presence of Secretary General of the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Ms. Efrah Ali Ahmed, and the Ambassador of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Djibouti, Mr. Abdul Aziz Al Matar, in addition to the Director of Arab Department, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the International Corporation, Mr. Mohammed, and the Director of International Corporation at the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity, the technical advisor to the ministry, Mr. Mohammed Balah, and the representative from the Salman Center for Relief and Humanitarian Action. For his part, the ministry will distribute this gift to the poor families and people with limited income in the interior and its which were affected by the rains and witnessed the country in November last year. In an intervention of the Secretary General for the Ministry of Social Affairs, Ms. Fraha Ali Ahmed, on this occasion, she thanked the King Salman Center for Relief and Humanitarian Action. She explained that this gift consists of a humanitarian gift that translates the depth of relation and cooperation existing between the two countries, from the 100 tons of housing equipment and foodstuff and the tents through the plan of humanitarian aid and relief. It was on Sunday the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training launched a wide-ranging process to assess the level of official and the various schools located throughout the country. This evaluation process will be held for the second year in a row, in which principal of middle and high school will be evaluated. This step aims to evaluate and monitor the activities, works, and program implemented by the directors of primary and secondary educational institution in order to define and clarify the aspiration of the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training in the educational and administrative files. The Ministry of Education prioritizing and vocational training seeks through the carrying out this operation to enhance the quality of manager in all aspects, whether these aspects are educational or administrative, in addition to establishing an evaluation culture with educational institutions in our country. This process will be implemented by 10 committees that include technicians, educators, and technical advisors, in addition to the educational inspectors from the Ministry of Education. It is scheduled that these activities will continue to evaluate the school principals until the 5th of the coming March. Under the auspice of the Ministry of Health, the administrations of Arta Regional Hospital launched yesterday the first phase of the vacation and vaccination campaign to protect against disease. The campaign of launching ceremony took place in the presence of district governors and the head of a local council. According to the Ministry of Health, this process will continue for a period of 8 days, and hospital has also mobilized all hospital staff, including doctors, nurses, and technicians, to make this campaign successful. In this statement to the Ministry of Health, the ministry called on parents to take their children to the health centers near them to vaccinate their children. In their intervention, the deputy governors of Arta region and the president of the regional council stressed that the importance of this first stage of vaccination campaign to protect against disease is a benefit for our citizens, Arta citizens. The National Union of Djibouti Women, in cooperation with the United States Agency for International Development, held an awareness raising workshop on combating violence against women and also the HIV/AIDS. This workshop is aimed at young men and women, focusing on combating violence and combating also the HIV/AIDS virus. This workshop was shared by the head of department and the listening cells of a National Union of Djibouti Women. Ms. Sahar was also present, and other representative from the union. This workshop aimed to eliminate all forms of violence against women and provide steps to be taken to prevent any disease affecting women. The Federation carry out the activities that raise awareness in cooperation with foreign bodies through useful workshop for young men and women. Also, under the auspice of the National Social Security Project, the residents of Adgeno have benefit from first phases of National Solidarity and Social Security Project, which aim to upgrade the condition of the rural population by providing funds for the creation of income-generating projects. This process continues in all areas of Tejora region. A team from the Ministry of Social Affairs visit the area in order to carry out the task of implementing this project aimed at improving the condition of the population living in this area. As part of a maritime surveillance operation in Djiboutian territorial waters, a team of Coast Guard of Djibouti carried out a large-scale operation to combat illegal fishing at the Arta beach last Friday night about 10 o'clock at the evening. This operation culminated in the arrest of Yemeni boats carry out illegal fishing in the territorial waters with about 100 kilograms of fish on boats, and the crew of 5 Yemeni suspects were arrested. The Investigation and Judicial Affairs Division of Djiboutian Coast Guard open investigation. Those involved will be brought to the justice for legal action in accordance with the laws in force in the country. This process falls within the framework of the effort of Djiboutian Coast Guard's elements aim at the combating illegal fishing in the regional waters. The elements of Djiboutian Coast Guards continue with the tireless effort to eliminate the illegal activities of all kinds in the territorial waters of the country. Element of the Special Police Detachment of the National Police found a child named Khadir Mohammed Diriye in the street near Central Bank. The child, Khadir Mohammed Diriye, confirmed that his mother is called his father is called Ilmi Musa. She calls the police office to everyone who has this child knows to call Mr. Aden Hamid with this number 77086628. Also, Ahmed Muhammad's family is searching for their rabbit daughter, young boy known Adru Ahmed Muhammad, who left their house yesterday, and they have not yet found information about his where is he now. Was suffering from a disability, and they ask this family for those who found him to call the number 77589635 or 9746. Moving on to the international scene, Nigerian government has launched a national campaign to eradicate the Lassa fever with over 100 deaths due to illness record this year. Nigerian Minister of Environment Muhammadu Bakar urged Nigerians to protect their homes from raids of other rodents because there are the vectors through which the disease can be easily spread, especially where the poor people are present. The minister said the minister will ensure that the country's environment is kept clean, which is the most effective way to prevent the disease. Lassa fever is an acute hemorrhagic disease caused by Lassa virus, which is transmitted to humans through contact with food or household items combined to the rubbing faces. And now the former mayor of South Bend, Indian Pete Bodo's surprised by Sunday's announcement that will withdraw from the Democratic primary just 2 days before the big Tuesday election and after the disappointing outcome in South California. Let's listen for more details.
It's decided. He gave up. Several American media reports on Sunday evening said that Democratic candidate Pete Buttigieg had decided to throw in the towel for the White House. At 38, 2 years older than the minimum age to be president, Mayor Pete has created surprise by winning the Iowa caucus, just in front of the Senator Bernie Sanders. He immediately positioned himself as moderate, warning of the excuses of the left wing of the party. The former mayor of the city of South Bend, Indiana, is expected to announce in the evening from his hometown that he is withdrawing from the Democratic primaries to designate the one who will face Donald Trump on November 3. Pete Buttigieg, who would have made his decision in the day of Sunday, according to the source. Giving up was the best thing to do to defeat President Trump.
This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.